against Liverpool from 2.
We're back with the former Liverpool midfielder and ex-Everton coach Charlie Adam very shortly. Next, the City Ground, where Nottingham Forest can move 5 points clear of the relegation zone if they get a win over Burnley. Here's Jeff Peters.
Yeah, nothing will be decided today, but it would be another big step forwards for Forest to try and secure their Premier League status. Burnley's hopes of staying up looking less likely, 12 points from safety. 4 changes for Forest from Thursday's European success against Porto. Elliot Anderson among the returnees after his family bereavement. Wood and Murillo are fit to start. Kyle Walker back for Burnley, replacing Humphreys after being surprisingly dropped for the game with Brighton.
Also at 2 o'clock, 2 teams with European ambitions battling it out at Villa Park this afternoon. Adam Bridge.
Yeah, Villa's two-pronged assault on Champions League football continues as they make 3 changes from the Europa win over Bologna. Barkley, Mings and Martson all start, and 3 points would put Villa 10 clear of the floundering Chelsea. Sunderland, meanwhile, could go above the Chelsea if they can win a 3rd straight Premier League game for the first time in 12 years. They're unchanged from that win over Spurs.
At 4 p.m. this afternoon, 4:30 p.m. this afternoon, it's the biggest game of the Premier League season so far. The top 2 battle it out with our chief football correspondent Alex Crook at the Etihad.
And when Manchester City beat Arsenal in the Carabao Cup final less than 4 weeks ago, they were 9 points behind the Gunners in the Premier League table. Win here and beat Burnley in their game in hand. Live on TalkSport on Wednesday. And Pep Guardiola's side will draw level with their stuttering title rivals. That's why this feels like a season-defining afternoon in the sunshine at the Etihad. It's Pep against Arteta, master versus apprentice, the leaders against the chasers. It's Manchester City against Arsenal.
We'll be back with the former Arsenal winger Perry Groves very shortly. He'll also be casting his eye over Nottingham Forest against Burnley today. It's getting tight at the top in the Championship. What's the latest? Ipswich Middlesbrough live on TalkSport 2. Watching for us, it's Ian Abrahams.
14 to go. Ipswich in 3rd, 1. Middlesbrough in 5th, 2. They'll be level on points if it stays this way. Borough ahead thanks to Tommy Conway's second half goal after Strela could put them ahead, and McAteer would equalise for Ipswich, who are now struggling to get an equaliser on their own patch. It's Ipswich 1, Middlesbrough 2, live on TalkSport 2.
League 1, Peterborough against Burton Albion is a massive game at the bottom of that division. It's 0-0. That kicks off at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Port Vale in relegation trouble. They're probably not going to survive. They're against Wigan, in-form Wigan, at 3 o'clock this afternoon. We'll keep you in touch with that one as well. And who will be joining Dunfermline in the Scottish Cup final? At 2 o'clock, Celtic take on St Mirren in front of David Tanner.
Sam, just 4 months ago, these sides met in the Scottish League Cup final here, and St Mirren pulled off one of the cup final upsets of all time. That was during Wilfred Nancy's 33-day spell in charge at Parkhead. Today, Celtic are a different proposition with Martin O'Neill in interim charge. It's Celtic St Mirren kick off here at Hampden Park at 2.
Over on TalkSport 2 at 3 o'clock, we'll have live Super League action for you as well, and Mark Wilson will be your commentator.
Round 8 of the Betfred Super League sees Wigan take on bottom of the table Castleford. Back-to-back losses for the Warriors has seen them drop to 5th, but they can go level with the leaders with a win. They've won the last 14 over the Tigers, who've not won in Wigan since 2017. All the action on TalkSport 2 as the Wigan Warriors take on the Castleford Tigers.
Into the Prem Rugby Union, South Sharks take on Saracens, 6th versus 7th at 3 o'clock this afternoon. We'll keep you in touch with that. And then the USPGA Tour, the RBC Heritage, Matt Fitzpatrick leads by 3 shots, 17 under. He tees off for his final round about 10 to 7 tonight. And in the Live Golf Mexico City individual, John Rahm leads by 2 shots, 14 under, and tees off at 7:27 tonight UK time. Not been the easiest week for Live Golf. This is TalkSport. Sam Matterface taking you around the grounds on this Sunday afternoon. Right, we're rattling through because it's a very busy afternoon on TalkSport. It's 1:35. In 25 minutes' time, we've got 3 big 2 p.m. kickoffs. We've got Charlie Adam, Perry Groves and Alex Crook with us today. Let's get one line each from all of you on yesterday's games. Perry Groves, you can start us off.
Newcastle and Eddie Howe could be time for a no-fault divorce. Sometimes relationships go down and lose their spark for nobody's fault. This is what's happening at Newcastle. The boos at the end of the Newcastle-Bournemouth game yesterday were more of frustration.
under our 90-minute guarantee. Fingers crossed, Sam, we can add some more money to the pot.
Let's see what happens today, James. Thank you very much. Be back in touch a little bit later on. That's all thanks to Betfair 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on TalkSport with Betfair. Play in a different league this season with Safe Sum from Betfair. 18+, gambleaware.org.
If it stays like this, Middlesbrough will have 75 points, Southampton 75 points, Ipswich 75 points, and Millwall in second, 76 points. But is there any chance of an Ipswich equaliser at Portman Road? Ian Abrahams.
Possibly. They've just got a penalty. Ipswich 1, Middlesbrough 2. As you rightly say, it'll all be really tight if Middlesbrough can hang on, but they've just been penalised. Ball inside the penalty area, and it was, I think, Azon who was fouled at the near post, and the referee took his time before giving the penalty. Or has he given the penalty? I thought he pointed to the spot. He got out a yellow card, and he's now decided that it might... He has given the penalty, I'm sure he has. Although there seems to be confrontations or conversations on the near side between some of the Ipswich players and the officials, but he has given the penalty. It will be a penalty. Jack Clark has the ball in his hands and has the ball on the spot. This is massive for Ipswich. Beaten at Pompey and poor on Tuesday night live on TalkSport 2. They haven't been brilliant this afternoon. Borough have had many chances. Sarmiento on his return to Portman Road certainly could have scored and increased Borough's lead, but here's an opportunity with 3 and a bit minutes to go for Jack Clark from the penalty spot to make it 2-2 and earn Ipswich a point, which will take them into the top 2. Clark stacks up and he scores, beats the goalkeeper, Sol Bryn, and Ipswich from heading into a place where they didn't want to be, level on points with Borough and Southampton, are now heading into the top 2. It's that tight, and that's what that goal means. Jack Clark from the spot, 3 minutes to go, Ipswich 2, Middlesbrough 2.
Looked a little bit soft, that penalty in Abrahams.
I thought it was incredibly soft. I mean, at the moment when it was given, the ball was played in, and I thought actually it was a challenge at the far post. I thought it was a bit of 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. One was grappling one shirt, and I'm really surprised it was given. But I tell you what, now Ipswich have got their tails up, and they might even try and go on and win this.
Melander it was, who seemed to have been sort of holding George Hirsch, but he went down very dramatically. I'm not entirely sure there was enough sustained holding there to give a penalty. You'll be able to have your say later on with Majin Parto, 3717222344. We'll take some of your reactions to that now if you've seen it. Scott's been in touch to say he's loving the show. He asked if we can get a shout out for Farnborough Central today in their final in the Aldershot and Camberley Division 1 Cup final today. They kick off at 2:30. Best of luck to them and everyone involved. The final few minutes of that Ipswich-Middlesbrough game continues on TalkSport 2. This is Game Day Live on TalkSport with Sky Sports, and don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Everton versus Liverpool live today. Search Now Sports. Next we'll be looking ahead to the big 3 Premier League matches which begin at 2 o'clock.
Sunday Game Day Live on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games flexibly with Now, like Everton versus Liverpool live today. Search Now Sports. 18+, free via internet. Terms apply. Mr. Q.
At Mr. Q, we tell it how it is. When players win, they love Q. Like a Portuguese prima donna loves polishing a statue of himself. But when players lose, they hate Q, like a last-minute VAR controversy. Mr. Q, the casino you love to hate. And you'll love 100 free spins on Big Bass Splash with your first deposit. Play at mrq.com or on the app. UK 18+ residents only. Minimum £10 first deposit. 10p per spin. Free spins must be used within 48 hours of depositing. All winnings paid in cash. T's and C's apply. Play safely.
You probably weren't thinking about retirement when you met the love of your life. Or when you realised they actually weren't. Or when you swapped the family home for a cosy cottage for one. Or when you decided to start a business in your 50s. And Rex, the rescue puppy, became the new love of your life. For the life we live. Standard Life. Phoenix Life Limited, trading as Standard Life. For full details, visit standardlife.co.uk.
Let's stop there. Being a soldier, it's exciting. You already know that. What you want to know is, what's in it for me? I wanted to learn leadership skills from the experts.
I wanted to get paid to earn qualifications.
I wanted more confidence. And now, look, I'm on the radio. That's what was in it for me.
Get skills, get qualified, get confident. Army. Recruiting now. Search Army jobs.
Nobody knows Vegas like BetMGM, and we know just how loud it can get. So sometimes it's important to turn it down or take a break. Because a little pause keeps the fun in play. To find out more about BetMGM's safer gambling tools and how we can support you to keep your play safe, visit the safer gambling area of our app or website. BetMGM. 18 plus, please gamble responsibly.
Sunday Game Day Live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
Eat yourself fit with football.
Sunday Game Day Live.
And it will break in the area for Ollie Watkins. 2-0! Robbie turns it in! It might just have won the Tyne-Wear derby for Sunderland.
And it is Liverpool's man of the moment, their best player this season, Dominic Szoboszlai.
Down the inside left channel, pulls it back to Amari Hutchinson, 1-1. Brilliant Nottingham Forest move.
Nice ball down the left-hand side of the penalty area, and the cross deflected goes in to give Burnley the lead.
You're listening to Game Day Live on TalkSport with me, Sam Matterface. Shortly we'll be crossing to our teams across the three big Premier League games that start at 2 o'clock this afternoon. But elsewhere right now, Ipswich 2, Middlesbrough 2. Ipswich going up into second in the Championship table, although there are 8 minutes of added time at the end of that game. Peterborough trailing to Burton by 1-0 at the bottom of League One. Let's get headline team news from Celtic St Mirren, the Scottish Cup semi-final. David Tanner is at Hampden Park.
And Martin O'Neill has made 3 changes to the Celtic team that beat St Mirren just a week ago in the league. Liam Scales is suspended. Benjamin Arthur comes in for him. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain drops out. He scored the winner against St Mirren last week. Arne Engels replaces him for his first start in 10 weeks. And Sebastian Tanuki comes in up front for Dyson Maeda. St Mirren make the one change from that defeat at Parkhead. Goalkeeper Shamal George was injured during that game. He actually recovered from injury and then promptly turned his ankle in training, so he's out and won't start this game. It's Celtic against St Mirren, kick-off at 2 o'clock.
Let's head to the City Ground. Nottingham Forest against Burnley, and some key figures back in the Forest team. Jeff Peters.
Yeah, and it's an emotional afternoon for Elliot Anderson, who's back in the starting lineup following the death of his mother this week. There'll be a tribute before kick-off. Murillo and Chris Wood were doubts after going off against Porto, but they're in the 11. Sells, Milenkovic and Bakwa return. Ortega, Dominguez and Jair Konya are benched, and Doy is injured, so is Callum Hudson-Odoi. Josh Laron back from suspension, but on the bench for Burnley, who make one change from the defeat to Brighton. Bashir Humphreys is replaced by Kyle Walker for the second-bottom Clarets, who are 12 points from safety now.
Jeff, Forest need 3 points to pull away from Spurs. How much encouragement are you feeling around the ground that Forest have picked up from that late Brighton goal yesterday in the game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? Because there is a chance that if they win today, they put clear daylight between them and the bottom 3.
Yeah, I think it will be a huge win, however they can get over the line. In the league, at home, they've been struggling, just 5 points from the last 8 home league games. It's amazing, in Europe, doing ever so well, they've got through to the semi-finals, but domestically at home, they've had problems. They haven't won in the league here since beating Spurs in the middle of December, which seems incredible. They've had more managers than they've had home wins in the league this season. Yeah, I think they've just got to get over the line today. Burnley will have a go. They will try and open Forest up. Forest can be a little bit vulnerable at the back at times, but I think having Murillo there is important. Obviously picked up that knock in the week. For Burnley, they're running out of time. It looks like they're going down. I just think they've got to throw everything at these remaining games and see what happens. But for Forest, just win the game. If it's a scruffy 1-0, they won't care.
Thank you very much. Back with Jeff very shortly. Let's speak to Perry Groves on this. Vitor Pereira's Forest side had a massive moment in midweek, getting through to a European semi-final for the first time since 1984 under Brian Clough. They beat Porto to get there. How difficult, though, is it to flip the switch and go back to sort of domestic survival mode?
It shouldn't be, Sam, to be fair, because you've got momentum, and the massive plus for Forest today is Chris Wood playing up front, because at home they can't hit a cow's backside with banjo, and Chris Wood is like a one-man band playing up front. He can do everything. He holds it up. He gets himself in the box. He's a presence. So if you're Elliot Anderson, obviously he's come back in the side today, and Morgan Gibbs-White, you'll be absolutely delighted to see him give you that sort of focal point. And I think he could be the massive difference between Forest staying up or going down. What there is, Sam, at Forest as well, you saw it against Porto, there's a togetherness. They all believe in Vitor Pereira, what he wants to do, the message he's putting across, and they've got that individual quality which they should see off Burnley today, and that puts Spurs even under more pressure.
Off to Villa Park. Aston Villa against Sunderland. Headline team news comes from Adam Bridge.
Yeah, we saw a brilliant 45 minutes on Thursday night as they dispatched Bologna to reach the semi-finals of the Europa League. 3 changes from that side. Dino and Buendia on the bench today. Pau Torres not in the squad with a knock. It means Mings, Martin and Ross Barkley come in. Barkley starting his 300th Premier League game today. As for Sunderland, well, they're unchanged from that win over Spurs. Dan Ballard is back amongst the substitutes, but they're in good form, looking for that 3rd straight Premier League win for the first time since 2014.
Aston Villa were impressive Thursday night. They beat Bologna 4-0. They named a very strong side and have gone strong again today, Perry Groves, making just the 3 changes as Adam has said. How will they cope with another game so soon?
I've got just give the ball to John McGinn, Sam. He makes a massive difference for Villa. When McGinn's playing, they have a 58% win rate. When he's not playing, it's 25%. So there's a difference. And what he does is he gives you a bit of control. Yuri Tielemans obviously playing as a holding midfield player of Onana. He gives you control as well. So that's what they will look to do against Sunderland today. He just control the tempo. Ollie Watkins in decent form, but you have to match Sunderland's endeavour and their energy, because if you don't, they're a team that can run you off the pitch.
It's slightly inconsistent Aston Villa in the Premier League, haven't they? 3 wins, 4 losses, 3 draws in the last 10 league games. Let's go off to the Hill Dickinson Stadium on Merseyside for the big derby. Let's get headline team news from Charlie Adam and Matt Jones. And Matt, I'd suggest that the changes that have been made by Liverpool today have reintegrated some of those characters who know what this derby is all about.
Absolutely, 4 of them made by Arne Slot, and some key experienced personnel returning. Curtis Jones, Andy Robertson, Cody Gakpo and Mo Salah are back from the defeat against PSG on Tuesday. Frimpong and Kirkes both drop out, so replacement in both full-back positions. It looks like Curtis Jones is going to be at right back. There's no McAllister in midfield, he's benched, and we knew that Ekitike was going to miss out with that horrific injury he picked up in midweek as well. So they're the 4 changes that Arne Slot has made. Interestingly as well, the problems that Liverpool have got within their squad mean they can only name 8 substitutes today. They've got that many injuries and players out on loan that they can't fulfil the entire squad. As for Everton, and I think you can probably hear the atmosphere here is absolutely buzzing. They've just unveiled a huge tifo on the right hand side of me. It's one of the Beatles, it says the originals, we built this city, and a picture of a liver bird coming out of the new Hill Dickinson Stadium as well. It looks phenomenal. David Moyes has named an unchanged side today from their 2-2 draw against Brentford last time out. So Beto continuing up top. He's been in red hot form of late, 3 goals in his last 2 games, and they've got a strong bench to call upon as well, with the likes of Tiena Barry and Tyreek George on there. So the fireworks just going off here. I think everyone is anticipating a really exciting game, Sam.
Absolutely cracking atmosphere, and those blue flares go up, firing into the Merseyside sky. It's a beautiful day on Merseyside. The flags are waving, and whenever you hear that theme, Z cars in the background as the 2 teams walk out, it just stirs the emotion, doesn't it? Back with Charlie Adam very shortly. It's full time at Portman Road in Abrahams.
Ipswich 2, Middlesbrough 2. Borough twice led but couldn't get it over the line. Strelak and Conway had put them in front, but Casey McAteer in the first half, and late on in the second, 3 minutes from the end from the spot, Jack Clark, after a foul at the far post on Hurst, was given a soft penalty conceded, but scored by Ipswich, which puts them second in the table on goal difference above Millwall. Finished here, Ipswich 2, Borough 2.
Let's get back to the Hill Dickinson Stadium and speak to the former Everton coach Charlie Adam. Charlie, this is the first ever derby to be played at the new stadium. No Ekitike for Liverpool. Everton quietly coming up on the rails. Their record against Liverpool isn't the best, but how do they take advantage of the injury situation that Liverpool face today?
Well, for Everton, they have to be aggressive. They have to use the crowd. They use the energy of the supporters because it's there. They don't want to disappoint. They don't want to, make sure that first 10-15 minutes that the crowd are with of that. Liverpool have gone the other way, and they've brought in the old guard that have played the derbies. They understand it. It's a tough place to come. Robertson, Salah coming back into the side are huge, and Liverpool need to put a performance on here with and without the ball, because if they don't do it, it'll be a long afternoon. It'll be a tough afternoon if they don't match Everton physically as well.
Liverpool need a big performance from Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz, don't they? How does Slot get that out of them?
Yeah, again, I think what we're probably going to see is that they'll end up playing 4-2-2-2, with Gakpo really high and wide on one side and Salah on the other, and Wirtz and Isak maybe just trying to play in little spaces and pockets to entice that back line of Everton out to then get the runs at the top end of the pitch from Salah and Gakpo. But yeah, there's a lot of pressure on Wirtz and Isak just because of the price tag, and we know that this whole Liverpool team at the moment have not performed to the levels they could have, and there's no better way than getting a derby victory and being able to go 7 points clear of the chasing pack.
Well, Liverpool would love to add 3 points to their tally after Chelsea dropped 3 points yesterday. In the Championship, good news for Ipswich Town. They've gone back into the automatic promotion places thanks to a draw at home against Middlesbrough earlier today. The Scottish Cup semi-final at hand that is just about to start. We've got 3 live Premier League games coming up in the next few minutes. You're listening to Game Day Live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. You will not miss a minute right here on TalkSport as we take you around the grounds this Sunday in the Premier League and beyond.
Sunday Game Day Live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Running a business can be expensive, which is why at NFU Mutual we don't charge admin fees with our trades insurance, so you can easily make changes when you need to. No wonder 9 out of 10 of our business insurance customers renew every year. With agency offices across the UK, we're closer to you, closer to your business.
This is not an official product of this competition.
In the first leg, attention now here has returned to the league, where Forest will look ahead to a favourable fixture, having remained unbeaten in their last 3 meetings with Burnley. Any hope of breaking Burnley's cycle of promotion and relegation appears to be fading after another underwhelming campaign in the top flight for them. The Clarets sit 19th in the Premier League table with just 20 points from 32 matches, continuing a disappointing trend that has seen them lose 44 of their last 70 Premier League games across 2 seasons. Scott Parker's side have struggled defensively, conceding 63 goals, the worst record in the division, and have also endured the second poorest away form, collecting just 9 points on the road. Their form has been equally concerning, with only 1 league win since the first week of November, leaving them on a 7-match winless run. Burnley are also without a victory in their last 10 away games. That run today could extend even further, given they have won just 2 of their last 21 visits. So, we are here, and we are underway with Nottingham Forest in their traditional red tops, white shorts and red socks. Burnley are in an all sky blue kit here at a very sunny day here at the City Ground. You could call it the sunny ground with how warm it is inside here today. So the 2 teams line up as follows. For Nottingham Forest, in goal for them is Matt Sells. It is a back 4 of Ola Aina, Nikola Milenkovic, Murillo and Nico Williams. The 2 defensive midfielders are Elliot Anderson and Ibrahim Sangari. Dylan Bakwa, Amari Hutchinson, and the captain Morgan Gibbs-White is behind the lone striker Chris Wood. For Burnley, in goal for them is Martin Dubravka. It's a back 4 of Kyle Walker, Halmar Ekdal, Maxime Esteve and Hartman. Florentino Luiz and James Ward-Prowse are in the midfield alongside Leslie Ogachukwu, whilst Jaden Anthony and Marcus Edwards play either side of the lone striker Zian Fleming. So Dubravka on the ball for Burnley. We'll just roll it out to Halmar Ekdal. That will go out to the right side where Kyle Walker is. He'll go all the way back to the goalkeeper, Martin Dubravka, who will just launch it up. It'll be headed by Nico Williams. He gets there ahead of Leslie Ugachukwu. And it's now going to go over the top. Murillo will give it to Nico Williams. Now it's Elliot Anderson. Elliot Anderson all the way back to Murillo. Back to the goalkeeper, Matt Sells. Sells will send it forward. There's Halmar Ekdal will go all the way back to Martin Dubravka. Martin Dubravka will give it to Steph. Steph will launch it up. And now it's Delan Bakwa out on the right side. Goes back to Ola Aina. Ola Aina back to Matt Sells. Short ball into Murillo. Goes out to the left side with Nico Williams. So Scott Parker, very smart, with a grey cardigan on today. Furiously chewing his gum down on the touchline. Now shouting out instructions for his team. He's gone under a lot of criticism for the recent run of form that Burnley have been going on. A lot of blame has gone his way. We can tell you about an early goal in the Premier League, and it's Ollie Watkins who has scored the opener against Sunderland. So Aston Villa are looking to secure Champions League football, leading early on against the Black Cats. Here is Zian Fleming on the ball for Burnley. Goes down the right side, goes up against Nico Williams. It's a good strong challenge by Nico Williams though, and it'll go out for a throw for the Clarets. It will be a throw for Burnley, level with the 18-yard box. Forest back in defensive numbers at the moment. There is James Ward-Prowse, who is over to take the corner for his own. We'll bring you confirmation of the two sub-benches when we get opportunity. So, delivery goes in. It's going to be headed away by Milenkovic. Of course, Liverpool and Everton are playing currently at the Hill Dickinson Stadium in a Merseyside derby. It's a good strong challenge going in down there by James Ward-Prowse, so it will be a throw down for Nottingham Forest. So Nico Williams to take the throw. And just launch it up towards the striker Chris Wood. It'll be headed away by Halmar Ekdal, and then it'll come all the way back to Nikola Milenkovic. Milenkovic on the ball for Nottingham Forest. He'll go inside to Murillo. Murillo will send a long ball over the top up towards Chris Wood. He'll just bounce it back to the captain Morgan Gibbs-White. He's a little loose in it, and Jadon Anthony goes back to Hartman, who will just launch it up in the air. It will bounce all the way through to where Matt Sells is, and Sells can roll it out to Murillo. So we've also got the 4:30 game, which we'll be bringing you live here on the Flash Score app. Manchester City hosting Arsenal, in which what looks like perhaps a pivotal game between two sides right at the top end of the division, which could decide the title, as Elliot Anderson sends it down the left side for Nico Williams, who will collect. Williams goes past Marcus Edwards, then goes down, but the referee Thomas Kirk quite quickly waves his head, or nods his head, as if to say that's not a penalty, and the ball is cleared out and it goes out for a corner. So it was Nico Williams who was just trying to take on Hartman there. He goes down. So it's now going to be a corner. Nico Williams making his way over to this near side. So he's going to prepare to deliver it in. Both arms go up in the air, all the way towards the far post. And then Zian Fleming will try and just see it out. He really protects it ahead of Milenkovic. Before the game, there was a minute's silence as Elliot Anderson has tragically lost his mother. She's unfortunately passed away, so there was a lovely minute's silence. Elliot Anderson straight back into the starting lineup after missing the midweek game against Porto, of which Forest were 1-0 winners. It was a fantastic game for Nottingham Forest. Coming out on top, of course, they were helped by Jan Bednarek being sent off after a horror challenge on Chris Wood just 8 minutes into the contest, and then Forest were able to dig in deep and come away with the victory, which after the 1-1 draw away in Portugal meant they went through 2 on an aggregate and now will meet Aston Villa in an all-English tie in the semi-finals of the Europa League. So on the bench for Forest, their sub-goalkeeper is Stefan Ortega. On the bench they have Luca Netz, Marato, Jair Cunha, James McAtee.